1957 Chrysler.
With a completely new transmission, the new push-button Torque Flight transmission.
Smoother, swifter acceleration for greater control in every driving range.
We're at our storage warehouse and exotic test facility. Let's see what we're driving this week. Already had 2 Hellcats. I hear a third one's coming. I might get lucky. A 2021 Dodge Charger, a nice family car that comes with a 6-cylinder engine. $30,000 price tag, but this one's a bit more expensive. It has the SRT Hellcat emblem. That's a hint. This is the Redeye Widebody. Yeah, big jump from the 6-cylinder Charger. Here's the base price. We do get a lot of goodies for that. I'll just scroll down. $8,000 for this customer preferred package. I like to think of the Charger as a true American performance car, but if you look where it's made, it's not totally true. Well, it's American in spirit. The Redeye Widebody is 3.5 inches wider than the standard Hellcat Charger. This allows the super wide tires, 305-35 ZR20s to be exact. These are all season, I'm told. A lot of these suspension and driveline parts have been beefed up. I won't go over the list. Just trust me on that. We have a 2.4-liter supercharger cranking out 14.5 pounds of boost, increasing the Hellcat horsepower from 707 you get in the others to 797 on this one. Fuel economy is listed 12 mpg in the city, but a nice 21 on the highway if you keep your foot out of it. We'll take it out and see for ourselves later on in the video. We drive our cars, unlike other YouTube testers that just show them. We also did a 1-week test drive and video on this Ram TRX Hellcat. Very, very nice truck if you can afford the gas. We have a link for that video at the end of this video. Go to the end, click, and watch. We also did a 1-week test drive on this 2021 Dodge Durango SRT Hellcat. We have a video for that at the end of this video. Just click and watch. 710 horsepower, did I mention that? The Charger has a nice large trunk, lots of room for a spare tire. Unfortunately, you get Hellcats, you don't get a spare tire, just a cheesy tire repair kit. They say it's done to save weight. Yeah, this thing already weighs, what, 4,600 pounds? I think they do it to save money. If you take long interstate trips, do yourself a favor, get a spare tire. In the meantime, I have my fancy tire repair kit, air pumps, stop leak. You know the drill. As been doing all my videos, let's take the headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. It's dark enough, let's see how these headlights perform. Here we have the low beams, only well 100 feet away. Good height, good widespread. Not the brightest I've ever seen, but well, let's see. High beam. Okay, get it close range. And here's what the rear camera looks like in the dark. In person, it looks a lot better. It does on my cheap camera here. And here we have the brights only building 300 feet away. Not the brightest bulb I've ever seen, but good spread, so we'll be okay. And go low beam. Actually reaches out. Overall, more than adequate. And since we're out here, let's do a little driving before we go back into town. I know we came out here just to test the headlights, so I'm having such a blast driving this, I don't want to stop. When you consider this Charger is based on an old 40-year-old Mercedes platform that's considered obsolete. Yet look what they've done with it. Turn it into one of the world's best sedans. world's best performing sedans. What a fantastic machine and what a fantastic engine. Although I'm not sure we really need the entire 800 horsepower. Doggone it, the bar is always closed when I drive up here. We do get an 8-speed automatic transmission. If you want to shift for yourself, we get paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong. Always within reach, always with the tip of your fingers. Unlike the Italians that put them on the steering column where they can't be reached when you're taking corners. They belong on the steering wheel. Thank you, Dodge, for getting it right. I'm not going to go over all the features. People do other videos do that because they don't want to drive the cars. Here we drive the cars. We don't cover features as much. But we do have a nice launch control system. One of the best in the business. In all the various SRT modes, track, sport, custom, automatic. Take your pick. And the climate controls, very simple to use. Part 1 of this video, show and tell, is over. Part 2, we're going to go out and do some driving. That's what we're here for, right? Unless you're driving in a hurry, I suggest keeping the power steering out of the track or sport mode. Just way too aggressive and twitchy. The street mode works just fine for most driving. As we do in all our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. I do have it in the street mode. That was pretty smooth. Impressive considering these giant tires. Bump number 2. Didn't feel a thing. Number 3. And the nasty one that always causes a problem. Huh. Very, very smooth. I know what you're thinking. What if we hit the speed humps around 20 miles per hour in the track mode? Well, let's find out. Alright, hump number 1. Yeah, that was stiffer. Nothing serious. Number 2. It's definitely firmer, but nothing to worry about. But this last one now should be interesting. Oh yeah, I felt that one. Yes, there is a difference between track and street. But that's the whole idea, right? If you're interested in fuel economy, this vehicle has been in our fleet for 1,596 miles, averaging 13.2 mpg. Driving conditions unknown. Before that, just under 300 miles, 13.1, driving conditions unknown. More to come. Let's reset the clock to 0. I don't think anybody cares about fuel economy in a car like this, but I'm going to take a quick highway trip. This Hellcat's a very nice highway cruiser, very smooth and quiet. Great for long trips. Be interesting to see what the fuel economy is on the freeway. We'll find out soon enough when I pull over. This isn't a Dodge Charger with a fancy engine jammed in. It's a redesigned vehicle from the ground up, and it shows. They did an excellent job. Attention to detail is exactly what it should be. The only problem with this vehicle is the temptation to pass all these pesky slowpokes who won't get out of the way. I know if I put my foot down on the gas pedal, I'm going to lose my fuel economy figures, so I'm just going to have to suffer for the next 30 miles. No, I changed my mind. Get out of my way. Wake up. About 46 miles, 20.2 mpg, cruising around 75 miles per hour, and doing a bit more passing around slowpokes than I should have been. That's a pretty good figure. For comparison, the Dodge Durango Hellcat I got around 15, and the Hellcat TRX Ram truck got around 11 or 12. I would say this is a big improvement over the other two. We're not going to talk about fuel economy anymore, and I want to point out this launch control system that you get in the Hellcats, one of the best in the business. If you ever used a launch control in the European cars, what a pain in the ass. You have to put the shifter in a certain spot and do a program in a certain way, and too much hassle. This, just press this and go. There's a lot of glare out with the sun today. There's nothing I can do about it. That time of year, that time of day. The roads are really slick today because of the rain. Traction's kind of hard to get. For those who are paying attention, did you happen to notice how the speedometer was running backwards because of the wheel spin? Go back and look again. According to the factory propaganda, if you have the ideal conditions, I mean perfect pavement and tire pressures that are compatible, you get this vehicle to 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds and the quarter mile down close to 11 seconds. But on this back private road, we don't have pavement that's ideal. And the roads are slightly damp from the rain, and I don't want to sit here and drag race this thing all day. 3 or 4 runs is more than adequate, and trust me, it's fast enough. A lot of people don't understand, creating an engine with more than 700 horsepower, that's easy. Getting that power to the pavement, not so easy. I think for most people, the 707 horsepower Hellcat would be more than adequate. But hey, if you want the 797 horsepower we have here, go for it. Like I said, getting that power to the ground in ideal conditions is a bit more work than you might want to deal with. You have a tiger by the tail, so make sure you know what you're doing. This is a beast. You know, Mexico's right around the corner here. I wonder if Chrysler would mind if I went south of the border and got some tequila and hot chicas. Yeah, I know what would happen. I'd have to call them and say, I'm sorry guys, but the Mexican police confiscated this Hellcat. They wanted it in their fleet, and they're not going to give it back. So, can you send me another Hellcat, please? And they'll say, yeah, no problem. What color would you like? I'll send it right down. Yeah, the radio stations are far better down here, aren't they? If you watch my videos, you know what's coming up next. We have to stop and say hello to Tommy the Toad for good luck. Which didn't work last time. I hit every speed trap in the county, you schmuck. You better deliver this time. I'm not going to put you on the videos anymore. No more publicity for you. Alright, now we can go. I was going to wrap up this video and go home, but I'm having so much fun. Let's rack up some more miles. Interesting view from the rear. Reminds me of my ex-wife and her friends. I'm making a lot of stops at the local fuel station. Yeah, it could be worse. I could be living in California where gas is $4 to $5 a gallon. A lot cheaper here. Oh, there's nothing like the thrill of an open road. Getting this vehicle to launch from a standing stop isn't that easy because of traction problems. Once you get moving around 10-15 miles per hour, this thing is unstoppable. And really, it's not the horsepower that's impressive, it's the massive amounts of bottom end torque. You really feel it in the seat of your pants. If you watched my videos before, you know this is called Dead Man's Road. Look at those drop-offs. No guardrails, rocks on the road, cattle wandering around. Very dangerous road if you don't know what you're doing and have the wrong type of car. I don't think this is going to be an issue on this vehicle. Not with this great handling suspension and fantastic brakes anyway. We really don't need 800 horsepower to enjoy this road. These 700 horsepower Hellcats do just as good. But hey, extra power, better to have it, not need it, than need it, not have it, right? So after a week of driving, what's my take on this Redeye Widebody? Well, I looked on the computer of the Ram TRX Hellcat truck I drove earlier with the 702 horsepower engine. Got a 0-60 time of 3.9 seconds. Then I drove the Durango Hellcat. Slightly quicker, I think it was 3.7 seconds. On this one, I haven't been able to get it below the 4-second 0-60 time as of yet. Not because it's slower, it's a matter of traction. That's a lot of horsepower and torque under the hood. And getting horsepower and torque to work on the Durango or the Ram TRX is not a problem because they have all-wheel drive, which means four-wheel drive traction. No wheel spin, just push the gas, boom, you go. Here, you have wheel spin. Of course, with the track mode, sport mode, street mode, traction control on, traction control off, high tire pressures, low tire pressures, I'm sure you can get a combination to work pretty good if you have the right pavement. And don't get me wrong, from 10 miles per hour on up, this thing will blow the TRX Hellcat and the Durango Hellcat off the road. It's at 0 to 10 miles per hour, getting it off the launch, that can be the issue. Like I hinted earlier in the video, I think when it comes to a two-wheel drive passenger car, once you get beyond 700 horsepower, you kind of reach the limit. Beyond that, you can get the point of diminishing returns. And while getting wheel spin off the line isn't that scary, getting wheel spin in tight corners when you're applying too much throttle, that can be scary even if you have the traction control on. So like I said, you got a tiger by the tail with this engine. Make sure you know what you're doing. Other than that, if you want horsepower, hey, go for it. This is still a fantastic car. Even for the 90 grand price. Get a European car, give them 90 grand, see what you get. Not much. To get this much horsepower on a European car, you're way over 150 grand. So that makes the SRT Hellcat Widebody Redeye a pretty good bargain overall. Coming up, some video tests of other Hellcats we've driven. Just get on, click and watch. You're getting 3 Hellcat tests for the price of 1. And subscribe, these things are sucking gas like crazy. Already maxed out my gas credit card.